You are lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling. It is 2 in the morning. Your muscles are exhausted, your eyes are heavy, yet your mind is completely wired and refuses to shut down. Most of us treat sleep like a power button. We expect that once the body reaches a state of exhaustion, we can simply climb under the covers, close our eyes, and flip a switch to turn the brain off. Sleep is actually a highly active, strictly orchestrated physiological state. Your brain doesn't just power down. It requires a specific set of neurochemical and environmental inputs to initiate a complex sequence of repair cycles. When you are stuck awake for hours, you aren't dealing with a broken switch. You are experiencing a mechanical failure between two invisible, competing biological forces, process C and process S. To guarantee restorative rest, we have to stop trying to force ourselves into unconsciousness through sheer willpower. Instead, we have to learn how to actively engineer these two internal systems. Process C, the circadian rhythm, is controlled by the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a master clock deep inside the hypothalamus. It relies entirely on a single cue, light entering the eye. The retina catches those photons and sends electrical signals straight back to this timing hub. Stepping into 10,000 lux of bright morning sunlight triggers a healthy spike in cortisol, wiping away grogginess and setting the timer for the day. But we frequently corrupt this signal by bathing our eyes in artificial screens right up until bedtime. Evening screens emit blue light in the 480 nanometer range. When that wavelength hits your retina, it tricks your master clock into perceiving daylight, suppressing melatonin. Controlling evening light exposure acts as the primary biological lever to ensure the suprachiasmatic nucleus recognizes the arrival of the biological night. Look at this 24-hour graph. The repeating sine wave represents process C rising and falling. Independently, process S, homeostatic sleep pressure, steadily rises upward as your brain burns energy, accumulating a chemical byproduct called adenosine throughout the day. We often try to cheat this system using caffeine. Caffeine acts as a chemical antagonist. Its molecules are perfectly shaped to physically wedge into your brain's receptors, blocking accumulated adenosine from attaching, creating a false sense of alertness. In response, your brain upregulates its receptors to compensate for the blockage. When the caffeine eventually metabolizes and clears out, that backlog of adenosine floods the new receptors, triggering an overwhelming wave of exhaustion. You cannot bypass true physical exhaustion. The adenosine debt generated by process S stays in your system until it is cleared out during sleep, or the pressure will eventually force a system crash. Aligning these internal neurochemicals requires external cooperation. To transition smoothly into sleep, your bedroom environment must support your biology, starting with thermoregulation. The human body must actively drop its core temperature by 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit to successfully slip into deep, restorative non-REM sleep. If your room is too warm, the body cannot shed heat, severely fragmenting your rest. The auditory environment is equally strict. Many people rely on machines pumping out continuous white or pink noise to drown out distractions throughout the night. Yet recent clinical data reveals a major downside to this habit. Continuous 50 decibel pink noise actually suppresses critical REM sleep cycles and increases total wakefulness, preventing the brain from dropping into deepest states of repair. A hot, noisy room creates a physical barrier. It blocks the brain from executing the vital cooling and REM cycles demanded by processes C and S. Bringing our graph back, we can see exactly what the perfect biological sleep onset looks like. It is the precise intersection point where process C's circadian trough perfectly aligns with process S hitting maximum adenosine pressure. But what happens when chronic anxiety or erratic behavioral habits permanently decouple these two systems, leaving you exhausted but unable to sleep? The clinical gold standard for repairing severe insomnia is a structured program called Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Insomnia, or CBT-I. CBT-I utilizes a technique known as sleep restriction. A patient is temporarily forced to stay awake longer, severely limiting their time in bed. This artificially builds up a massive, inescapable process S pressure, ensuring that when sleep finally happens, it is heavy and consolidated. The second tactic is stimulus control. Patients are instructed to use the bed exclusively for sleep. If they lie awake for 20 minutes, they must leave the room. This breaks the brain's conditioned association between the mattress and the frustration of waking anxiety. High-quality sleep is a predictable biological result. It is an outcome achieved by actively mastering our light, mastering our chemistry, and our physical environment.